Hey, what's going on, everybody? Once again, this is Ray Kennard broadcasting again here from Orlando, Florida. Usually it's sunny in Orlando, Florida, but it's a little windy today. I haven't worn a scully in about 2-3 years, but it's all good. So today I'm doing a video log, my first video blog actually for 2014. And what I'm doing on today, because the new year starts, of course everybody has resolutions or whatnot, but what I'm going to do on today is not so much a 2014 resolution, but a life resolution. And it's really about discovering your calling and your purpose in life. Because when God created us, He has something in mind specifically for each and every one of us to do and accomplish in life. And I find that a lot of people find it difficult to really find that calling. And that's why, we end up stuck at, 9-to-5 jobs and going to work miserable every day. Now, for you that work your 9-to-5 and you feel that's what you're called to do and what God has ordained you to do, that's fine. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the other 99.9% of the world that's not satisfied with getting up and going to work every day. So really it's about finding your calling. So how do you find your calling? And what do you do with it once you find it? So then the first step then be to find out what you're passionate about. What things do you love to do? And also, what things in the world annoy you the most? What things in the world irritate you the most? Because that may be the problem that you're called to solve. And I bet you if you combine it with what you love, then they're very similar. For example, if you really hate homelessness and you have a desire to help homeless people, then maybe God has called you to create shelters and feed the homeless and clothing and give them educational programs and show them how to get back on their feet. Something to that effect. So find out what it is you're passionate about, what you love. And then the next thing I would say, step 2, will really be to get the proper education or training that you do need. And so we can't be stuck to this just, telling our kids anymore, go to high school, go to college, get a degree, and you'll move up the corporate ladder to be successful. No, that's not the formula anymore. It's really about finding your purpose and your goal and getting the right education. Now, in a lot of instances, the right education may be college. If you want to be a doctor, you have no choice but to go to college. Something in the medical field, a lawyer, you got to go to law school, something to those effects. And of course, you have to get a college education. But not everything calls for strictly a specific college education, but a specific education. If you want to be a mechanic, then of course you need to go to some type of technical auto mechanic school. You want to be an electrician, so on and so forth. So get the right education and the training and the tools that you need. And I'm finding that once you do, find out what that is you're called to do, God will begin to open doors for you. He'll begin to put the people in your life and put the programs and education and the mentors and whatever that you need in your life to be able to accomplish that is what you think you're called to do. Now, as for me, I thought I was called to be a professional basketball player. As you can see, I'm standing on the basketball court here because I thought that I was called to do. But being 5'8", 160, it wasn't going to work out, and the Lord had different plans for me. But where I grew up, that's all we wanted to be, because that's all we knew. We had no vision. We had no exposure to other things. Nobody ever really, taught us different things, how to find your calling in life. So we all thought we wanted to be Michael Jordan or Jerry Rice or Emmitt Smith or Kobe Bryant or whoever. So that's the key. I'm also going through this thing as well, really just reevaluating the things in my life that I've been passionate about, the things in my life that I'm good at and I love, and really just going forward. I know in the Bible, Paul was telling Timothy, because Timothy was a young man, Paul was telling him to war according to the prophecies that had been given to you. So there was a specific prophecy, whether it was a prophet that God used or God himself. He didn't give you that voice for no reason. He didn't give you that height for no reason to dunk a basketball. He didn't give you the smarts and the capabilities to be able to engineer and to put together things. You've always been interested in Legos or Connects or whatever, and you like building things. He didn't give you all of those passions and those talents and abilities for nothing. So really find out what it is that you like to do, and then find out how to make money with it. And that's really a prosperous living, an abundant living. Then if you find out what you love to do and find out how to make money doing it. And then number 3, just as a believer, become a missionary in the field to which God has called you. Now, another thing that Lance Wall now, wait for the wind to finish blowing here. So one of the things that Lance Wall now, he talks about is 7 mountains in culture, or 7 what he calls mold binders, things that indicate spheres of influence. And These mountains are business, they are religion, they are arts, government, family, education, and media. And whatever it is that God has called you to do, then he has called you to become a missionary in one of these fields. So we thought missionaries only go over to China and Africa. No, we need to be specifically sent into these fields. We can no longer evangelize to people like we did 100 years ago. It's different now. We need to be able to get into these fields. That's why we can't spend a lot of time in the religion mountain, which a lot of believers make the mistake of, where we feel like, we're all called to full-time ministry. No, we're not all called to be apostles and prophets and pastors and teachers. We can prophesy, but don't mean we're prophets. Everybody's not called to build a church. Everybody's not called to work in the church full time. Otherwise, this world rather be a pretty boring place. Think of in the Bible Joseph and Daniel and Esther. Joseph was a counselor to Pharaoh. They had an economic problem, so he was able to hear from the Lord, and they went through a period of dryness and a period where they didn't have any income coming in. So the Lord gave him strategies to Pharaoh to save up for 7 years, and for the 7 years they'd have a drought. So just imagine with the $1 trillion debt that we're in our world, in the United States, if we had a Joseph in the White House that could counsel Obama or the Senate or Congress, if we had somebody like a Daniel that could counsel, be influential to Warren Buffett or Mark Zuckerberg to use the billions of dollars that they got, that's how you create change. One of the things that Jesus told the disciples was to disciple a nation. See, we're not just called to evangelize the people. We're called to disciple nations. And how do you disciple nations? It's through one of these 7 influences. One of the things the military do when they want to go in and take over territory is the first thing they take over is the schools, the education mountain, and then the government, the politics. Why? So then they can affect change. Look at, for example, the homosexual agenda that's going on now. 4% of the world is homosexual, yet they've been influencers in the government mountain. We're getting laws changed. They're getting laws changed. The education mountain. They're getting policies changed in school. They have unisex bathrooms in the schools now. And, they got kindergartners reading books about, homosexual men getting married, the king and the king, and things of that nature. So that's what I'm talking about. They're discipling a nation, to tell you the truth. Because we're being forced to go by their agenda, what they believe in. They're getting people banned from shows and everything. So that's what Jesus is talking about, discipling a nation. We need to become effective in these mountains. We need to get people in the business world. We need to get people in Hollywood. We need to get people to own their own networks, like Oprah Winfrey. We can control what goes on the airwaves. We can control these videos. These kids have nowhere else to turn to but 106 and Park. Imagine if a Christian became in the media world or in a entertainment field that got some money and opened up his own channel, and you can influence or you can control what comes over the air with what videos you play. You can play some Lecrae and Flame and Truth, and you can control what content, what TV shows come on. Nowadays all TV shows are full of profanity and just garbage nowadays, and reality shows is a joke. So that's why we need cultures, habits, creatures that can create change in these 7 mountains, in the Hollywood mountain, in the religious mountain, in the political arena, in the entertainment arena, in the arts arena. So that's why it's so important for 2014 and just beyond to become your life resolution needs to be to find out what your goal is, what your purpose rather in life is, and get clarity on your assignment. Get the proper training, certifications, counseling, whatever it is that you need to better yourself and perfect your craft. And then number 3, become a missionary in the field to which God has called you. And then that's how we'll be able to disciple a nation, and you begin to see laws change, you begin to see culture change and teenagers change and things of that nature. So all right, that's my challenge to everyone. That's my challenge to myself. Look forward to things to come from my daily bread in 2014. Everybody have a good Friday. I'm signing off.